Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be cheating, forgiveness, and moving on. Well, what do you do when you're in a situation where you've been dishonest with your girlfriend, or maybe you cheated on her? I got an email here from a guy who basically took his girlfriend for granted, and this obviously went on for a period of time, and he just really didn't give a shit. He was a dick to her. He would argue with her because he didn't understand where she was coming from. And now what's happened is she was all over him, but I think she's at the point now where she's just kind of given up and realized that this guy is not treating her right, and her interest level is dropping. And whereas before he really didn't give a shit, now that he sees that when he walks away she doesn't really care, it scares him because he realizes, wow, this girl's not into me like she was. I don't have her wrapped around my finger like I once had. And now he's fearful and afraid. And this is what typically happens to guys in this situation. They get lazy, they get complacent. I deal with a lot of guys that are married or been in a long-term relationship, and they get lazy and complacent. They stop dating and courting their wife or their girlfriend. They stop doing the things that caused her to fall in love with him in the first place. And that's basically like this guy. It sounds like he's just pretty much taken her for granted from the get-go. And now she doesn't really seem to care, and he's obviously worried about it. But that's what happens. It's like when you get rejected, or, it's like guys all the time, like, oh, I'm thinking about breaking up with her. And then a week later, she breaks up with him. And then he's like, oh, I'm in love with her. I'm going to marry her. This is the woman of my dreams. I realized what an idiot I was, blah, blah, blah. And basically what usually just happening is the relationship ended before they were really ready to end it. And so he says, hi, Corey. Well, me and my girlfriend have been together for a while. We never expected to fall in love. We just messed around in the beginning, but we caught feelings and started going out seriously. She was so happy and so was I, but I was still flirting with other girls on Facebook and stuff like that. So she saw that, and it completely broke her heart because she had already given me a chance before. It's not a smart thing on your part to lie and cheat on your girlfriend, tell her that you're not going to do it, and then she catches you doing it again. What it does is it causes a woman to not trust your masculine core, not trust that when you tell her things that you're going to mean what you say. So he says, we eventually got over it, but our relationship wasn't the same. And I would say you got over it, but obviously she didn't, because anytime that you have an argument in the future or you have a disagreement, she's going to bring up the fact that you cheated once before because you're doing and saying things that are causing her to feel the same way that you did when you cheated on her before. He says, I would call her a bitch because I would get mad. Well, that's pretty weak. That tells me that you don't understand communication in a relationship, and you don't know how to have an adult communication. And when a guy just says you're a bitch, it's basically saying, I don't understand what's going on. I don't know how to fix this, and you're not making any sense to me, so you're a bitch. Therefore, there's something wrong with you, there's nothing wrong with me, and this problem, this disagreement we're having is all your fault. And that's the typical way that guys go about not taking any responsibility or not having to do anything to fix the relationship, because then they just point the finger at her and say, oh, well, it's all her fault. So he says, she let me see her phone, but I didn't let her see mine. She would call me a lot. We would talk nonstop on the phone. Whenever I tried to leave, she stopped me. She would cry for me. And she did those things when she had high interest in you. So I realized that I was being stupid and that I actually had a good girl in my life who I took for granted. That's what most guys do. It's like until it's ending, it's like you don't know what you got till it's gone. It's like you take it for granted, but when you're in the verge of losing it, then it's important to you. I would do everything I could to gain her trust back, and I did, but now she's always quick to walk away. That's because you've conditioned her not to trust you. You've been too incongruent too often with things that you've told her. She doesn't call me like she used to. She only shows me love sometimes. I tried testing her by walking away to see if she'll stop me, but no. She was quick to let me go, and I would say that that's because she's got low interest now. Now I feel like our relationship is doomed, but I really love her and will do anything to make it work. Well, if you're really willing to do anything to make it work, then you need to read my book 10 to 15 times so you get to know the information so well you could literally teach a class on this subject. And then you need to start applying it. So he says she acts different now. She acts like she doesn't care even though she tells me she does. She just doesn't do the things she used to anymore, and it hurts. I feel like it wouldn't bother her if we weren't together. I also feel like there's someone else involved. I feel like there's another guy that she's hanging out with when she was ignoring my calls. Right now, I don't know what to think. What do you think I should do? Well, like I said, you need to read my book. That's first and foremost, so you can learn the basics. Stop arguing with your girlfriend. Every time you argue with your girlfriend, you just drive a bigger and bigger wedge between the two of you. Men that understand women, they don't argue with them. They communicate in a adult and a mature manner. It's really fucking important, because if you don't know how to communicate with a woman, eventually she's going to give up and walk away. And so in addition to reading the book, you have to look at it this way. You're starting all over. Her interest is low. It's probably in the, I would say, the 50s. It'd probably be, and once it goes below 51%, you're fucking out, pal, and she'll be on to another guy. And so you have to treat it like you're just starting to date and court her all over again. And I talk about this in my book. Take her out once a week. Make a date with her, a definite date. Tell her to dress nice or dress casual depending on what you guys are going to do. Tell her you'll pick her up at 8 o'clock. Open the door for her. Be a gentleman. Do those things. I go into immense detail in my book about this, but you've got to start over. You've got to start dating and courting her, because women want to be in a love story. Love is playful and fun. It's not serious. And when you call her a bitch or you argue with her, then your relationship is not playful and fun. It's serious, and it's an emotional drag. You're turning your relationship into just a bunch of drama. And that when you do that, it causes her level of comfort and safety to plummet. And when a woman doesn't feel comfortable, she's not going to want to be around you. So if you find this message of value, you can show your appreciation by going down to the Wibbia toolbar, which is at the bottom of your screen if you're watching this video on my website, and click the PayPal donate button and donate any amount that you feel is equal to the value of the information in this video. At the very least, please share this page with all your friends and family by clicking any one of the social network sharing buttons, which are also located on the Wibbia toolbar at the bottom of your screen. And if you have a question that you want to ask me, or there's a topic that you'd like me to cover in a future video newsletter, click the Contact Me tab at the top of your screen and send me 3 or 4 paragraphs detailing your situation. But you got to give me several days to get back to you with a detailed response, because I get a lot of email from the internet, and plus I get quite a bit of email from my paying phone coaching customers, and obviously I got to focus on their emails first. But be patient, and I will get back to you. And if you'd like to talk to me right away, you can book a paid phone coaching session by clicking the Products tab at the top of your screen and just follow the instructions. And I will talk to you soon.